All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to crack the code on two of the most fundamental and, let's be honest, kind of confusing tenses in English, the present simple and the present continuous. So, you've probably asked yourself this a million times. I work versus I'm working. What's the real difference here? I mean, they both sound like they're happening now, right? But they actually describe totally different situations. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly which one to use. Okay, the absolute easiest way to get this is to picture two different worlds, or maybe two different modes of life. You've got one world for everything that's permanent and regular, your routines. And then there's the other world for things that are just temporary, stuff happening right now. The tense you pick, it all comes down to which world you're in at that moment.
So let's jump into that first world, the world of habits and permanence. This is the home turf of the present simple. Think of it as the tense for everything in your life that's stable, part of a routine, or just generally true.
All right, so the number one job of the present simple is to talk about your habits. The stuff you do over and over and over again. It's basically the rhythm of your life. It doesn't matter if you do it every hour, every day, or just once a year. If it's a routine, it's present simple. And you'll notice there are these little clue words that pop up all the time. Words like every day, never, or sometimes. These are giant flashing signs that you're talking about a habit. And if it's a habit, boom, you need the present simple. I wash my hair every day, total routine. Even saying I never go to the library describes a consistent habit, right? It's a stable fact about your life. But wait, there's more. The present simple isn't just for habits. It's also for facts. Just think of it as the tense you use for things that are permanent or just generally true. This could be about you, about someone else, or even about how the world works. Like, if I say, I don't drink coffee, that's a general truth about me. She's very tall, that's a permanent characteristic, it's not going to change tomorrow. And of course, a classic example, water boils at 100 degrees. That's a scientific fact. See, none of these are temporary things. They're just states of being. Okay, here's a little pro tip that'll make you sound so much more natural: word order. Where do you put those frequency words? Well, for short ones like often or usually, they slide in right before the main verb. But for longer phrases like once a month, they get tacked on at the very end of the sentence. It seems like a tiny detail, but trust me, it makes a huge difference. All right, ready to switch gears? Let's travel to our second world, the world of now. This is where we talk about stuff that's temporary, actions that are in progress, things happening this very moment. And this, my friends, is the home of the present continuous. So, the mean gig for the present continuous is describing an action that's happening right now, like as I'm talking. But here's the thing, now can be a little flexible. It can also mean around now. Think these days or this week. The key idea is that it's an ongoing action, but it's not permanent. Let's look at a few examples so this makes sense. If someone says, I can't talk now, I'm brushing my teeth, that's happening this exact second. But if I say, I'm reading a new book, well, I'm not literally reading it as I speak, but it's the project I'm in the middle of around now. Same with he's studying a lot this week. It defines a specific, current, and temporary period of time. And that brings us to the second huge idea for the present continuous, which is just one word: temporary. If a situation isn't your normal everyday routine and it's only happening for a limited time, you guessed it, you need this tense. And this is a perfect contrast with those permanent situations we just saw. My normal routine might be driving to work, but this week, maybe my car's in the shop, so I'm going by bus. It's temporary. Or maybe I'm living with my cousins temporarily. I don't live with them forever. It's just for a little while. This really shows you that core difference, doesn't it? Okay, so you've got the two worlds down, right? Permanent versus temporary. But, English. There are always exceptions to the rule. So now, let's meet the rule breakers, a special little group of verbs that just don't play fair. These are what we call stative verbs. And honestly, getting a handle on these is the real key to mastering these two tenses. So what on earth are they? Well, stative verbs describe a state, not an action. They're about opinions, senses, or just a state of being. A good way to think about it is, you can't really see someone doing them. And here's the golden rule you need to remember. You basically never use these verbs with an ing ending. So here are some of the most common ones, grouped together to make them a bit easier to digest.
You've got verbs for your senses, like see and hear, verbs for your opinions, like believe, like, love, and then others for essential states, like be, have, need, or want. It's why you'd never say, I am wanting a coffee. It just sounds wrong, right? You say, I want a coffee. And this example right here is absolutely perfect. You see the word now in the sentence, and your brain immediately thinks, aha, present continuous. But hold on, the verb is need, which is a state of verb. It's a state, not an action. So even though it's happening right now, we have to break the now rule and use the present simple. I need it now. That is the exception in action.
Okay, let's pull all this together. We've gone through the two different worlds, we've met the tricky rule breakers. Now let's look at the complete picture so this all sticks in your head for good. Seriously, just think of this as your personal cheat sheet. On one side, present simple, for habits and facts. Look for keywords like always or every day. On the other side, present continuous, for things happening now or temporary situations. Keywords are now and at the moment. From now on, all you have to ask yourself is one question. Is this a permanent routine or is it a temporary action? Your answer will tell you the right tense every single time. Simple as that. So to wrap this all up, let's put it into practice, like right now. Just pause for a second. Look around you, wherever you are. What is happening? Is a light shining? Is a computer humming? Are you sitting in a chair? Every single answer you just came up with uses the grammar we just went over. See, you've got this. Thanks for joining me.